All right, guys, good evening and thank you for joining me. It's your one and only Wakawaka doctor here. You better arrange yourself. All right. Thank you very much for joining in, guys. I'm so excited to be here today. I'm kind of doing something different, from what I usually do. But today's episode excites me. It's because today with us, I have a superstar, someone I would love you to hear from, someone who's also an immigrant like most of us. And it would be good to hear her story, her successes, her disappointments, her struggles. Some of us know her, some of us don't. She would have been one of the survivors of the ill-fated Sosoliso plane crash in 2005, if you're familiar with the story. She's also one of the finalists of America's Got Talent in 2017, if I'm correct. She is a superstar in everything. She knows how to do everything. She sings, she talks, she motivates, she inspires, and she wants to come here to share her story. I actually, got through to her and said, like, look, I need you on my show. I need you to talk to people. I need you to share your story with people. And we're just going to have fun. So if you're interested in listening to what she has to say, buckle your seatbelts. And now I'm going to bring her up now because I don't want to waste time. I just bring her straight on, straight on, straight on, straight on. See, you see the way I'm excited. I'm so excited because, I've never seen Superstar before in my life. This is the first time, Stardust, you just see a Superstar, you're like, you know. Um, yeah, I've sent a request now. I'm hoping, yay!
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. Let me
Wait. Are we
get it
using the
right.
same type of glasses first?
Comfortable in my view.
Oh, I think we are. I think we are.
Hi, hello.
How are you?
I am good.
I
Let me
think you
adjust
need
this
to
so
you,
you
you
can
thi-
see me
yeah,
well.
you need to adjust your camera a bit so that
Yeah,
we
yeah,
can see
yeah.
your face.
No problem. Let's see. Let's work. This work.
Okay.
All right, I think this
Wow,
work.
fantastic, fantastic. Thank you very much. See, I'm starstruck, you know. Well,
It's too much.
did a bit of an introduction there.
Yeah, I heard it all. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I just did a bit of an introduction there. I know it's
Hey,
not
mommy. Hey, I just saw my friend.
it's yeah, Wumi is here. It's not quite, doesn't encapsulate everything about you. I'm sure people must have been seeing you here and there, and then they don't know your story, and
Yeah.
that's why we decided let's come up here today. Let's talk about who you are. I've seen you from a distance.
Yeah.
I've seen that superstar lady, that beautiful singer, but it's I want to know you up close and I want people to hear your story. So let's start. Tell us a little bit about Kechi. Who's
All right.
Kechi actually?
So, yeah, my name is Kechi, and I am a Nigerian, born in Nigeria. I moved from there after my accident, well, 2 years after my accident in 2016. So, well, 2005. And then 2007 is when I moved to America. I've been here ever since. And I was here primarily for reconstructive surgery. So, after the Sosoliso plane crash, I first moved to South Africa, which is where they kind of saved my life, gave me emergency treatment. And then America is where they give me back my independence, essentially. So I moved here with my entire family and just kind of relocated here because it just turned out that I would just need to permanently change like zip codes if I wanted to be, if I wanted to have full access to the kind of care I needed. And also because traveling back and forth was just going to be too tedious and too expensive. So we moved here and essentially I've just built my life here all over again, with my family, went to school, finished high school, finished college, And then America's Got Talent came into my life and basically changed my entire trajectory. And, a lot of things have happened in between from 2017 to now, between, pursuing music and, speaking engagements, becoming a speaker professionally, and then now becoming a published author. So I'm just trying to juggle all my balls, without letting anyone fall, and trying to just keep all my passions alive, basically. So, yeah,
Fantastic,
that's
fantastic.
the basic gist of me.
I had to Google you, right? I had to Google you to check you out. But look, I know that when this all started for you, and I don't mean to jolt you back into those events, but if you're comfortable sharing, some people might have read it. If you're comfortable sharing, tell us exactly how what you remember from the events of
Yeah.
2005 and how it shaped your life up till now.
So, the accident happened when I was 16 years old. So I was a senior and I was a SS3 student in high school in Lula Jesuit College, Abuja. And we were heading for the Christmas holidays, So, boarding school, you stay the whole semester and then you go home. So my school, we typically go home together, like in groups. Those who live in the same area would, go on the same bus or the same plane to get home. So it was a regular flight. Like this is a flight that happens every year. We're all used to it. So there were 61 students from my high school on the plane, including myself. And so those of us who lived in the PH area, we boarded the Sosoliso plane to go home. So it was a Saturday morning. Everything was normal. We got to the airport in Abuja. Everything was normal. Boarded the plane, normal. Nothing strange happened. The flight was normal for the most part. I remember it was just very uneventful. I slept for a little bit. I was in an aisle seat next to one of my close friends who was in the aisle seat next to me. And there were 109 passengers in total, including the flight crew and us students. So regular commercial plane. And so the flight was about an hour and a half. We kind of were fine. Everything was fine until the pilot made the announcement that we would start the descent into the airport of the PH airport, basically. And so it was around that time when he was descending that the turbulence started. And again, when you fly, we're all familiar with turbulence. It's not a big deal. It's a thing that happens. So at first there was no like weirdness, nothing, but then it just kept getting worse and worse. And I remember just like the tension that kept building in the cabin because we all kind of could feel something was up, but no one wanted to kind of say it first because it would trigger panic. And that's exactly what happened the next few minutes. Like a lady at the back of the plane screamed, and that just caused the panic that ensued. And it wasn't like people were running around or anything. It was just screaming, blood of Jesus, screaming, oh God, what's happening? That kind of thing. And I remember just sitting in my chair, like I was just in my seat, just shocked and confused. It was like surreal. It was like a movie. It just seemed so weird that this was reality. And I never quite was able to adjust, in those few seconds, like when everything just started going wrong. And my last memory is actually holding my friend's hand because that was all I could do. That's all we could do. So I held her hand, and before the blackness came, it was just this metal scraping, like jarring sound that just like filled my whole brain. And then it was just darkness. I don't remember the actual impact. I don't know if that's what caused the instant darkness. I don't know, but I know that at that point, obviously, something happened to make me pass out. And my next vivid memory after that is opening my eyes, and 5 weeks had passed, and I was in a hospital in South Africa, Johannesburg, waking up from a coma. And that's pretty much when my new life started. Everything that I had planned, SATs, all those things that were, on my mind at the time, my family, everything just kind of uprooted and changed from that day. And a new
Wow.
journey began, basically.
Thank you very much for sharing. I know how sad this must feel, and I'm sorry that to experience all this. What really caught my attention was you saying, I mean, the plane was already going down, like it was at the end of the flight, literally,
Yep.
and that happened.
Yep.
So sorry, so sorry. This is the first time I'm really
Yeah.
listening to the story one on one, and it's quite a painful one. Sorry you've had to experience that. How have you coped since you woke up 5 weeks,
Yep.
suddenly noticed that your life was going to change,
Yeah.
forever? How have you coped since then? It's been 17 years, I guess.
There's
17
yeah,
years. How have you coped? What's kept you going? How have you, tried to adjust,
just
to
life,
live in
right?
this present time? Yeah.
It's been, a very difficult journey, not, and it hasn't been like straightforward at all. But I will say the first thing is my mom, first and foremost, before I even mention the rest of my family and my friends. She was, quite frankly, in the beginning, the reason for me for doing anything. She was my reason, period. She was just why I would wake up every morning, why I would struggle to stay alive, why she was my purpose. I lived to see her face every day, and in the beginning, I needed that because it was really hard to staying alive was interesting. It was just an interesting struggle because I had to kind of fight the urge to let go, and just just basically allow myself to do what felt more natural at that time, which was to just go. And my mom's voice, my mom talking to me through the comas, playing music for me, singing to me, reading the Bible to me by my bedside, these were anchors to reality for me in the beginning. And after I opened my eyes from the coma, it became such that, I would open my eyes to see her again the next time she comes to visit me. She would come every day, obviously. And that became like my way of keeping time, keeping like, clockwork. When mommy comes, that's every day, passing. And so at first that was it, in the beginning. Then later on, as I got better, um, it was kind of like this inner drive that I had to kind of find to prove to myself that I could stay alive, to prove that I could get through one more day, one more day, one more day. And then it just became this thing where I was this, I suppose, representation of like hope of this whole tragic situation for people that lost their own families and loved ones that day. So it blossomed from being something that I did just for my mom to myself and then for others. So when I found out the truth of the, because they didn't tell me anything about the truth of the accident and how many people actually passed away until about 5 months into my treatment, because they had to make sure that I had the mental and psychological capacity to actually deal with the truth of the fact that everyone else was gone. They couldn't tell me that straight up. So as far as I was concerned in the beginning, it was myself and everyone, we were all alive. I just was the worst. I got the worst of it basically in the injury department, but I felt like everyone was like alive and good. I thought my friends were back in school. Literally thought life was just going on. So finding out the truth was just devastating. That was the worst part of this, most definitely. And for me to climb out of that, I knew that like people that lost people on that accident, like in that on that flight, were rooting for me to stay alive. And those parents that lost their kids were happy that I was alive. They were praying for me. They were sending my mom, prayers. They were calling her. And so I just felt this need to kind of stay alive for all of them as well. I wanted to, whenever it felt like I was going to give up, I would think about them and how their kids, their loved ones didn't get the chance I got, to like this second chance at life, basically, And so I felt this, like, I put this pressure on myself to kind of live for the souls of those that passed away, for the ones that they left behind. It became necessary for me to live for them and make sure that like this life, I showed them that I appreciated it, and I was going to do what I could with this. I didn't feel like I needed to do anything extraordinary or anything like that just because I survived. I mean, I didn't have anything to do with surviving a plane crash. Not like I pulled myself out of the plane, but like I just felt that whatever I do in this life, whether it's mundane or extraordinary, whatever it is, I need to do it with my full chest. Like I need to put my all into it. I need to do it as excellently as possible. And that would be the best way to show them that I appreciated this life. So that was really what it was, like between my mom and then my family and my friends, myself, and then just my faith also kind of reinforced everything and brought everything together, along with this life I wanted to live for those that passed away. I think all those things together were what allowed me to kind of move forward from what had happened, to draw strength from what happened instead of allowing it to cripple me which is a very easy thing for, you know, trauma to do to a person. So yeah.
Well, Kechi, look, I know you heard this a lot of times, but I'm just going to reinforce it again. You are a miracle. You're a miracle, and for everyone watching, it's quite inspirational. I am moved to tears at the moment. You know, just hearing your story, and being a doctor as well. I kind of have an idea of what you must have gone through, the excruciating amount of pain you must have passed through, and it only shows me one thing, that you're really, really strong. And I hope that you can keep going, because you've got nothing but respect and love from this side of the video. Okay. Now let's talk about how you moved on, you know,
Yes.
to America's Got Talent. And Simon gave you the golden buzzer.
Yes. Yes, he did.
Are you gonna
Crazy.
sing for us? Are you gonna sing for us?
I mean, I usually have no problem
I'm
doing
putting you
that.
on the
I usually have no problem doing that. It's just my voice today is funny. I don't know. Well, I
Don't
can
let it be
try. I can
funny.
try.
Don't let your voice be
It's
funny.
funny. It's funny.
Sing.
Funny as
Sing.
hell today.
How did you get there? How did you get to
Man,
America's Got Talent?
easy. Oof. Okay, so interestingly enough, you know, our connection, the person that made this happen with me, our friend, is the one that kind of got the ball rolling in that direction, to be honest. Like quite literally, she signed me up for the show without telling me. That's how I ended up on their radar. This was in 2016. I was in the middle of my MBA. I was working, had no plans or like intentions to be part of a music, like a competition. Like I never would have put myself on a platform like that by myself, because I just, yes, I love to sing, I love music, but like, why I think I was good enough to go into, like, to compete with other singers? Hell no. You know, that was not something I would ever have done for myself, because I just didn't feel like my voice was there, you know. It was just something I liked to do for fun. And now I was actually, at that point, I had just started singing in my worship team at church. So to me, I was like doing what I was supposed to do with my voice already, you know. I wasn't trying to do anything too much. So when that happened, and she told me, because she'd been telling me about this for years. Like, I need to apply for one of these shows: American Idol, The Voice, X Factor, America's Got Talent. She'd been telling me, she would send me, like, you know, she would send me emails of like whenever they're doing an audition. This is like years before AGT. She was very persistent, but I never took it seriously, because I was never going to do it. I just was never going to do it. And so I guess she knew that. So she just kind of did it herself, and like wrote like a little thing, explain, you know, hi, my name's Kechi, I'm this and all that. She like did the whole online application process for me, and told me, Kechi, I did this, and just so you know, let's just see what happens. She put her email in, so I don't have to like get the email if they like they rejects me, you know. She was like, she thought about everything. And so it was in November. She said I was singing every day to her on Skype. That is very true. Every day we talk, I'll be singing. Oh my gosh. So she was basically tired of hearing me sing, Sha. That's what happened. So basically, she was like, do something with this. They'll be singing to me. So on a Saturday in November 2016, I got a phone call from this woman called Destiny, that was a talent scout from America's Got Talent. And she was like, I saw your application, and we're trying to, you know, move forward with you as a contestant. What do you think? I hope you're interested, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, just like, at first it's like, okay, like, you know, this is not going to actually take off. Like, there's no way they're going to actually put me on TV. Because, like, I haven't seen anyone, like, looks like me on TV, first of all. And then secondly, like, come on now. Like, what are the chances? You know, how serious are they? You know, they probably reach out to thousands of people like this. So I didn't put any, like, stake in it. I was just like, let's just see what happens, you know? And I remember that day, like, the woman called me. She told me what was going to happen. They're going to keep, like, you know, keep talking to me and corresponding with me. And, you know, Wumi's email was the one that was in there. So, like, when they sent the first email saying that, you know, they wanted to, like, you know, move forward with me, she got the email. So she now called me. I was like, what's going on? Like, she just got this crazy email. And I filled her in that they actually reached out to me. I told my family, my mom, my dad, my sister. And then from there into 2017, like around like April-ish, around this time of year, By now, in 2017, they had reached out to me back and forth through emails. They had asked me to send them clips of me singing different songs, different genres. They wanted to have an idea of how my voice was, what kind of music I like to sing, and what sounded best with my voice to give me the best chance to, move forward in the audition. And that was pretty much how much they just kept on going. And then we got to flights and booking flights and stuff. And I was like, these people are serious. They're actually trying to bring me out to LA. Okay. So I think like by the time we got to May, which was when they filmed the first audition, I realized, when I finally stepped on that stage, like, oh, I guess they were serious. So like, I really did not think they were going to actually do it until I was literally in front of those judges. And yeah, that's pretty much how I ended up on AGT. And,
So now you've got to sing because everyone wants to hear you sing.
oh,
I've heard you sing
oh
not
my
one on
God.
one. I've heard you sing on YouTube. You've got to sing. You've got to do it.
I'll do
It's
my
out of
best.
my hands
Don't you
now.
judge me, Sha. I woke up like an hour, 2 hours ago, so my voice is, look,
Don't
whatever you hear,
worry,
you take it
don't
like that.
worry, don't worry.
I'll
We'll
sing,
manage it.
but
We'll manage it.
it's not the best condition, Sha, but no problem. Fine. I'll sing. Okay. Let me see. I guess I can just do a little bit of like what I sang on the show. It
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
out loud. Okay. Oh God. Okay. How does it go again? Honey, okay, yeah. We'll be loving you till we're 70. Honey, my heart could still fall as hard at 23.
Che.
And I'm thinking about how people fall in love in mysterious ways. Maybe just the touch of a hand. Me, I fall in love with you every single day. I just wanna show you I am. 'Cause honey, now
Che.
send me into your loving arms.
Woo.
Kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars. Darling, place your head on my beating heart. I'm thinking out loud, baby, we found love right where we are.
Wait. I just want to ask you one thing. What's one thing? So wait, your voice is not good like this, Abby?
It's no good. I hope it was good. I don't even know how. Look.
So your voice is not good like this, Abby? Okay. I will not say anything more than that.
I was going to cry. I was so scared.
Wow. Awesome.
Ooh.
Look, everyone is just saying fantastic,
Thank
fantastic.
you so much, you guys.
I feel like crying now, but
Oh
I'm
God.
not going to cry. You are simply
Someone said you
amazing.
solo radio.
Yeah.
Nigerians are too good at compliment.
You are simply
Oh my
amazing.
gosh,
Wow.
thank you,
No
guys.
wonder Simon had to give you golden buzzer now. He
Thank
could
God
have
for
even given
someone.
you.
Thank God. Thank God he likes me. You know how someone can be.
Wow.
That's what I tell you.
Wow.
So.
Okay, so thank you very much for that.
My-
Let me ask you now. I don't know how it worked out for you, but you
Yeah.
did describe that you moved after the accident.
Yes.
You moved from
Yes.
Nigeria to South Africa
Mm-hmm.
and then to the US.
Yes.
Did you have to go through visa applications because of course
Yes.
you have to go through visa applications
The
to
whole
get to
thing.
the US?
Yes, I did. Yeah. So I came here on a medical visa. That's how I came. That's the visa that I came here with, because that was what I came here primarily for. It was to get treatment. So my visa was a little different. I even knew that was a thing. So I came here like that, and then my mom came as my support. So her visa was tied to mine, like essentially, for as long as I need care in America, my mom would be here with me. That was her own visa. And then the rest of my family had visiting visas as well that we just kept on extending as we were here. So we didn't leave, the country to get extended and to come back. We just stayed here and then kept on getting like extensions with our visas. basically. And then when it turned out, when it looked like I was going to like, actually, we're actually going to live here and be here permanently, then at that point, my medical visa got converted to an F1. So when I started going to school here, the hospital took care of everything. When I wanted to go back to high school, finish high school, get into college, they did the conversion of my visa to an F1 visa. So I became a student like that. And pretty much that's how I was here on an F1 visa after that, basically. And we all know how it is, with F1 visas, it's completely dependent on like your studies, and being, here for education, wherever it is you are for education. So after I graduated from college in 2015, I had my 1 year grace period for OPT. And that's just your chance to work basically for a year until like hopefully a company hires you and sets you up with like a work visa. But during that 1 year time, I didn't get hired by any regular companies. I was only doing nonprofit work. So it wasn't looking good, So it was looking like I was going to have to like literally come back to Nigeria. That was like the plan. Like not the plan, but it was like what was going to happen if I didn't like go back to school or if I didn't, start working or something like that. So basically I applied for my MBA and, took my GRE and then got into an MBA program. And that like restarted the whole, thing again with like, the student visa. And then while I was in school with my renewed F1, that's when America's Got Talent happened. And it turned out I can't just like I can't just go to America's Got Talent. I have to have the right kind of visa for that. And so that's how I got into what I currently am using now, which is an O1 entertainment visa. So America's Got Talent converted my F1 to O1 so I could legally participate on the show. And since then, that is what I've been using since. So the O1.
So you're saying not just anyone can participate. You need the right type of visa to go to AGT, correct?
Yep. If you're an immigrant, of course Americans can just do it whenever they want.
Yeah.
But AGT, they bring in different kinds of talents from all over the world. So it's not even like a special case for me. It's just that like I just ended up being someone that was in America that needed that kind of visa. And it's basically like a work visa, but for entertainment. For if your field, your industry is entertainment, you still have to have someone vouch for you, put their name on the line for you, and all that stuff. So for me, my O1 went through because, well, a bunch of different factors, but obviously the fact that they wanted me on the show. So Simon was the one that like wrote my letter and was like, we need her on the show. Therefore, this is why we need her to have an O1. So he did that. I got that. But then once you're done with the show, that visa expires. So technically I was meant to go back to F1. But because it looked like I was going to be able to have a career in this field now, music and speaking and, just this entertainment field, I was able to use that as leverage to renew my O1. And the O1 visa is different from F1 because it can be renewed every 4 years, which is a longer amount of time than any other like visa really, aside from F1, which is like dependent on your schooling, how much time you're going to be in school. So basically that's what I have been on. So I know people typically assume that I'm like a citizen or like, I've been naturalized and stuff like that. But like, nah, that's not the case at all. It's still.
So you've had to always renew that visa every 4 years.
Every 4 years, yeah.
How has that been? Any challenges?
Definitely, I would say, okay, so no, the only challenge is just paying for it, really. It costs, because I have to use a lawyer to do it, so it's not even the thing itself that's expensive, it's the lawyer fees that are expensive. Aside from that, as long as you're relevant in the field that you have the visa for, then you're fine, So as long as like every year I have to just reapply and just get like letters of support from people who I've worked with, who I'm working with, who are till today are willing to, put themselves down on the line for me because I'm still working with them. So what they need is to make sure that you are still relevant in what you're doing. You're still doing something that's relevant and kind of you're still adding value to the industry that you are in, essentially. So for entertainment, the last few times I renewed was, I had things that like basically they want to see that you have work, that you're going to be here working with that visa. So I just showed them like my schedule essentially of events and things that I had to do that were coming up. And, I had people that I had worked with in the past that were like, we're still going to be working with her in the future as well, things like that. So the last one, that's pretty much what it was. The fact that I had a book that I had not just that I was writing a book, but like I actually had a contract with a publisher to show that, yeah, I'm going to be here, working with them, promoting my book, writing the book with them, everything. That helped a lot as well. So, that's what it is really. I mean, there's a lot of people that are like that use this O1 visa to be here to do work. Most Nigerian artists that come here, to perform, to do concerts, to do anything, when they come here, that's pretty much what they are on as well.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Fantastic. Thank you very much. O1
yeah.
visa. Never heard of that visa
I
before, but
know.
it's good.
Oh,
It's good
I
to
know.
O1 visa. Okay,
First
I'm
time
gonna
I heard of
look it up, guys. You can look it up if you're a singer, an
Yep,
entertainer. There's a visa
entertainment.
called
Yeah,
O1 visa. Okay, fantastic. Now let's talk a little bit about your challenges
mm-hmm.
that you faced. Why is it? Say, for instance, you've been in the US now 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
More than 10 years.
More than
2006.
10 years, more than 10
Yep,
years. You're not yet a citizen. What
yep.
challenges have you faced as an immigrant, having moved from Nigeria? How tough has it been, surviving and living as an
Surviving.
immigrant in the US?
It is hard as hell. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, no cap, it is not because, and the thing about it is you can do things to stay in this country that are not like necessarily legal, like under the table kind of stuff. And a lot of people do that. And if that's what, I understand like how, I do understand how desperate it can be, just when you feel like this is the place where you have your best opportunity. But the truth is like, they know everything for real, for real. They just don't say anything until you do something major, and then they bring in everything that you've been doing in the past where like you thought like you were escaping them or you were like under the radar. There's no such thing. So the hardest thing I think for me, for my family, has been staying here legally. There have been a lot of opportunities to do things in different ways to stay here and to even like convert our status to like something more permanent. There's different things that people do. We've had people approach us about these things. We've told people have suggested things to us, but at the end of the day, having a clean track record that no one can use against you in this American government is definitely, it's the harder thing to do, but it's the best thing to do because in the long run, that's what helps you, whenever you're trying to do things. If I had different things I had been doing to like, stay here and there, not really, overstaying my visa, doing this, doing that, it would have been, first of all, impossible for me to be on AGT because all that stuff would come to light when they were trying to convert my visa to O1. So I would say that's the hardest thing is like staying here legally, making sure that like you're never out of status while you're here, making sure you're basically staying as invisible as possible to the government. You don't want to be on their radar for any reason, paying your taxes, doing things the right way. That is because once you live here for a while, if you've lived here for, I think it's 10, I think it's 5 years and above, 5 years and above. Even if you've been here, you're not a citizen, you don't have a green card, you basically become a citizen, a taxpayer. Like you become a citizen for taxpayer purposes when you've been here for at least 5 years. So they don't care if if you're still on a visa, but if you've been here long enough, they consider you a tax
What? Yeah, yeah.
person, yeah. So you have to be careful about things like that and make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do, paying those taxes, everything. And another thing is, so obviously I've been wanting to convert to like a permanent status here. Obviously, that's the first thing I tried to do when I hit my 10 years mark. Come to find out that with my O1 visa, the only way to convert to a full like status, permanent resident status with O1 is going to something called O2. So O2 is an entertainment visa, but that one is completely different because you have to prove that you are a unique talent that like, is making moves in this world. Basically, you have to prove you're Beyonce. You have to prove that you're Chimamanda. That's what you have to do to get an O2 visa. So my lawyer was just like, I mean, you're going to have to, prove that like you are a force to reckon with in this industry, because there's a lot of artists, there's a lot of people that are amazing. But like, if you're not like, you know, Beyonce caliber, then you're not. You need to stand out significantly to get O2. So she was like, she doesn't see like, obviously, like, yes, I'm talented and that's great, but like, that's like the jump is so high that like that route would be next to impossible for me. But like, it's not something to feel bad about. It's next to impossible for most people. So if that's the case, then obviously my route is going to be through like a different kind of visa, because I do want to become, you know, a permanent resident, but I still haven't figured out the way to do that, because I need to stay in O1 status to be able to do what I do. But at the same time, you know, it's almost like a dead end of just every 4 years renewal. You know, how long can I keep that up? So I don't know, man. But that's,
Yeah,
yeah,
that sounds like
right
tough business.
now. It's
How
serious.
do people react? How do people react on the streets when they see you?
You think as I'm walking around, people are like, "Oh, is that Kechi? Oh my gosh, he's not everywhere." Who do you think I am? Like, I'm not. Maybe so in my Houston, in my little area, in my Pearland, my Houston area, a lot of people. Well, okay, so people do recognize me, right? Of course, it was more like it was more regular right after the show, you know, when things were fresh and all that. And then now I think it happens, but not as frequently as you think. It has to be like when I'm in like public, like in the airport, for instance, that happens. So if I like, maybe a couple people would see me and know me from just seeing me in the airport. So usually it happens more in like public places, you know, like airport, or maybe a restaurant, you know. When I went to like when I went to, what's it called, Universal Studios, you know, Disney, like people, someone there like would recognize, like, are you like, did you do this here? Were you in my church one time to speak? Like, things like that do happen. But I think it happens more frequently in like my local area. Houston people know me much more than anywhere. Well, LA too, though, because that's where the show aired. So a lot of people also, yeah, I would say that too as well. And then, you know, whenever I travel for events, obviously people, I mean, for me to have events, they have to know me, right, and to be interested in me. So yeah, I guess when we say don't
Okay.
be humble, that's it. It's not, look, I don't know how
Now,
people screaming at
she's saying don't be humble.
it's the
So,
truth.
lately I've been seeing you make posts on your story and on your page about a book you've
Yeah.
recently made. Tell us a little bit about that book.
In fact, I'll even show you. So see the book here. I'm always ready.
Wow,
Yeah, wow,
more
wow.
than a scar,
More than
more
my
than a scar.
scars. Yes.
So, tell us about the book. What's inspired
So
the book?
this book is a story I have been working on since 2017. Honestly, um, it's a story that I felt was a part of what I was supposed to do with my life. I was meant to tell the story to inspire people to live life after trauma as fully as possible, and use my life as an example of the fact that it's possible, that there is life after trauma. And that life doesn't have to be, you know, you don't have to kind of reduce or like, you know, downgrade your dreams and your goals based on what you've gone through, you know. So I want to show people that you can thrive, not just survive after what's happened to you. And I felt like my story was a good way to do that. I feel like a lot of times we know a lot of things, we hear these things, these positive inspirational things from people all the time, but it always has more impact from people that we know have gone through certain things. And so I felt like, of all people, you know, I have this platform to, and this voice that might be a little louder than some other people's. So it's my responsibility to use it in a way that would help people. So that was the main reason behind writing the book. The second reason was also because I wanted to show people that this person, Kechi, that they got to know when they saw her, like for the first time on AGT or wherever they did that, wherever they met me, maybe my social media, you know, I feel like I present myself as a confident person, and that's me. You know, I present myself as, this is me as authentically as I possibly can be, right? But like, this didn't happen overnight. You know, yes, there is some natural predisposition that we all have that make us a certain way. You know, maybe the way that we are, there's certain natural things that we're born with that can kind of which is what makes us grow up different, essentially. You know, and I get that. So there are some things about me that were like the way that I always was. You know, there was some level of confidence I already had, and some self-assurance, and just some things that, qualities that probably helped me in this journey. But a lot of it was developed. A lot of it was learned. A lot of it was like learned through discipline, like
Yeah.
things like, understanding how to treat myself and my identity, following all this physical trauma, and things like, putting God first, and, knowing that he can be a source of like help and healing, and not the person that makes bad things happen, understanding that, people around me can only help me as much as I allow them to, and, things like that. And so I want to show people the nitty gritty part of my story that helps to form the Kechi that they see today. And I do that because I want them to be able to relate, to see that, you don't have to go through something as big as a plane crash to... I see your question, by the way, and I'll answer it later, just so you know.
Yeah, I can see that question.
Yeah,
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
But I wanted people to see that process and to relate to that process. We all have it. There's no avoiding it. There's no magic solution to going through trauma. You have to literally work through it. And I want to show people that that's what I did, and that's what has to be done.
How can people get the book? How can we get the book?
So the book, oh my God. So Nigeria, first of all, I'm very sorry, but it's only available to you guys right now via Kindle. Okay. So if you have access to a digital copy, that's how you can get it for now. Physical copy, I'm still working on. I'm actually working with 2 bookstores. One is Oida Books in mainland Lagos. And then the second one is Laterna Bookstore in VI on the island. So
Okay.
I'm trying to get 2 locations that would carry the book physically. And once that happens, I'm actually going to come home to promote and to do an official book launch in Nigeria,
Tell me I'm gonna get an autographed copy of the book.
Live now. Come on now. What do you mean?
You see, guys, this is why you should know Superstar. This is why you should know Superstar.
Of course.
Okay.
Hopefully many people will get signed. Like, I'm gonna come.
But the book is on Amazon, isn't it? On Amazon.
Yes, it is. Okay, so guys, it's on Amazon. It's if you live here, it's in Barnes and Nobles. It's in bookstores here, and yes, it's on Amazon. Amazon UK, Amazon.com. Like, yeah. I only say that the thing about Nigeria because a lot of Nigerians like have asked me like where they can go pick it up, and I just feel bad because it's not in bookstores in Nigeria. But if you have access to Amazon, if you can get like order from Amazon and get it delivered to Nigeria, yes, it is all on Amazon. It's there. Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Let me ask you some trivia questions now.
Okay.
One of them is rolling in saying, do you have a phobia for flights now?
So I am happy to say that no, I do not have a phobia for flying. And I know that is like, that's a question I get all the time. And I obviously understand it, but I don't know how come. Like, I can't tell you guys, there's no magic. I don't know. I just realized, I don't know. It really, because the thing is, after the accident happened, I had to be flown like the next day to South Africa to get treatments. And then I had to be flown back from there to Nigeria, where I waited for them to find a hospital for me here in America, where I had to fly to. It just felt like flying was just unavoidable. Like, what's the point? So like, it didn't seem like I could avoid it. It didn't seem like there was anything I could do about it. If I wanted to go around, if I wanted to move around in this world, there's nothing I could do. That's my cousin. Hey, Lottie. She said because I like Wakawaka. Hey girl, that's Carly Crown.
Wow. So you have no phobia.
But yeah, basically I have to travel, right? I have to go. Like, basically, if I don't want to live, how am I gonna live? Like, how am I supposed to live the life I promised that I would live? Full life, doing everything I want to do. If I only went to places that I could drive to, like, I wouldn't be able to do anything. I would be so restricted. And so we just felt like, look, it looks like you can't avoid flying anyway, so you might as well just grit your teeth. And frankly speaking, in my mind, and this is just being honest, I'm like, the one thing that everyone like doesn't say but hopes never happens has already happened to me. It's already happened. This is the worst thing that can possibly happen when you like flying, and it's happened.
Yeah.
I'm just like, the chances of that, I'm not to jinx anything, but like, it doesn't happen twice. I'm sorry, lightning doesn't strike the same place twice. That's one. I feel like of all people, like, I'm probably the safest person to fly with now at this point because it's already happened.
I know. Okay, let me ask you something else. What's your best Nigerian food? Do you still eat a lot of Nigerian food, by the way?
How can you ask me? Don't get me. Don't do that. Don't. How can you say that? Like, how can you?
Answer. What's your best Nigerian food?
That's hard, man. God, jollof. Is it jollof rice? Man, I don't know. Okra soup, sha. Okra soup here slaps. I don't. Let me see. Fried rice. See, I don't know. You? Which one will I call now? You know what? Okay, wait. Jollof rice. Okay.
Jollof.
I'll. I'll settle. Man, I don't. Yes. Okay. Final answer. Jollof.
Final answer, jollof rice. Jollof rice. Okay.
How about fish? Fried fish is good. Fish is good, sha.
Kechi, jollof rice. Okay, my third question. I'm gonna put you on the spot now. You've got a lot of friends and family watching, but I'm gonna put you on the spot. Who's your best friend? Your number one best friend.
Forget. Don't even see. No, that's not happening.
You're not gonna answer.
Yeah, she knows how she. I'll just say that. I'll say this. One of them is here. I have many. I have at least.
Kechi, I don't want to hear. Who's your best friend?
No, I can't. Listen to me. I can't. See, no, as you know, sorry. I have at least two. I have two people that are exactly the same. Sorry, I'm not gonna.
They're exactly the same. They're more like sisters, yeah. They're more like sisters.
We are many. Are you Legion?
Someone is already asking for fights. Someone is already asking for fights.
See, you're not gonna do this to me, so no.
All right. Thank you very, very much for having. I've never heard this story. Thank you for coming on my show and talking to people about how you feel. One final request. I know you've done it before, but for people who are just joining in, we want you to sing again. We want you to do one more song before you go. Do one more song for us. Do one more song. 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 Do one more song.
Okay, let me think. Maybe I should do a Nigerian song at this time because.
Oh yeah.
Let me see. I really what's his name? God, don't get Kechi. I can't mess up his name now. God, what's the name of the song? It's called "Oh My Love." Rikasani. Yes. Okay.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Let me see. Do I know it? Okay. Your love feels like the mountains and the seas. You give me love that lets me know you're meant for me. And I promise you ultimately that I will give you all my love, baby. When you smile at me, girl, my heart skips a beat. You give me love that lets me know you're meant for me. And I promise you ultimately that I will give you all my love, all my love.
Wow. There you go, guys. That's been Kechi, the superstar from America's Got Talent. Everyone, most people know her. You've probably read or seen her on TV or heard her story. She's been talking to us for the last part of an hour about her life, from the start till how she got to the US. Abolade Michael, what's your question? Someone has a question for you. What's your question? And she's been telling us about her struggles as an immigrant, how she feels grateful to have survived, the air crash and up till now. And it's been amazing. She's doing great work. She's written a book you can get on Amazon. Kechi, do you want to show us the book again?
Yes, please.
Do you want to show us the book again? It's called More Than a Scar. Please, you can get it on Amazon. Please just try and order the book. Let's try our best to support her.
Appreciate it.
It's More Than a Scar. It's a book written about her life's journey and how she's inspiring millions of people to to do more, so to say.
Trying. Yeah.
And I mean, there's nobody else you want to hear that from other than Kechi, who's had life teacher, you know, give her that first-hand experience, and I'm sure she's grateful for it. She's
Very.
making the best out of it. Wow, Kechi,
Trying.
thank you very much. This
Thank
has to
you.
be. I've never held an interview for more than 30 minutes. People who know
Oh,
me, more
wow.
than 30 minutes. This has got to be
Wow. I'm
the
honored.
best I've
Wow.
had, and it's been so much fun having you here.
Thank you. You made it
I'm
fun.
gonna put this on my YouTube channel. I'm also gonna leave it
Okay.
on my feed down here so that people can watch later. Now tell people to follow me. Tell people to follow me because I'm simply the best.
Guys, follow Wakawaka Doctor. He's a cool guy. I mean, you should see his content. He's helpful. You know, he'll teach you a lot of things about navigating immigration as a Nigerian trying to move to different places. Like, he's a cool guy, okay? And just, yeah, he's a really cool guy. So follow him here on Instagram. Find him on Twitter. He's a big guy on Twitter, like, big guy.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Kechi. So you owe me a book. I'll catch
A
you.
signed book.
I'll catch you where I always catch you.
No problem.
And you know, from here, you've got a friend if you need one. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so
It's
much for
been a
having me.
pleasure. Thank you very much, guys, for joining in.
Thank you,
It's been
guys.
amazing having this chat. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.